Tuesday, December 5th. Let's go. If you're seeing this in 6th, 7th, 8th, or maybe even January, just means you didn't catch it on the day it came out. Man, you already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Double trouble. Dealing with twins. You might not believe this. I've seen twins on more than one occasion. I don't know if it's just coincidence or I've done too much damn time. But I can remember doing time with twins from way back. In the jail, there was a set of twins. At one point in the detention center, we had a set of twins. Actually, 2 different jails I've been in. One jail had 2 sets of twins. Another jail I was in, there was a set of twins. Now, the 2 sets that were in the jail, that wasn't at the same time, but I did run across 2 sets of twins in that jail throughout my stays. And then in prison, there was 2 different occasions where I come across twins. Now, the ones I'm going to talk about today, I knew a little bit more about than I wanted to know about. It wasn't like I chose that. I was in jail with the guys. Their case was all over the jail. Their case was everywhere. Now, at first, we dealt with the one because they had them kept separate. But then their case got underway and they got sentenced, and it was no longer a matter of keeping them separate because, well, nothing they can say or do is going to interfere with the case. They can't get their stories together, so they came together. Oh, what a difference it makes when a man's got a twin and that brother shows up. The story I got for you today is it's different than a lot of my stories. I'm not sure even a lot of people can relate, but it's a good story altogether, man. Jason and Jadon, Jadon, I think it was Jadon. But there was one brother, Jason, Jayson, and Jadon, Jaydeon. I don't know. I ain't his mom and dad. I ain't know how to spell his name. By themselves, they were all right dudes. You put them both together, double trouble. You put them both together, be a bad day for you. You get to sell one of them, everything's fine. Get to arguing with him, y'all might be able to sweep it underneath the rug, but his brother ain't gonna feel the same way. He might not want to do anything, but his brother might feel some type of way. So you ain't always just gotta look out for what this dude's got going on up here. You gotta worry about his alter ego, his twin, his better half, the one that looks just like him, just has different tattoos and is just a wee bit more violent. Yeah. Doing time with twins, you're going to catch it. Now, I'm not one that's big on banking. I was a teenager at one point. I'm not going to say I haven't done it. I don't agree with it. It's not something I would do today. But with these 2, if you catch a fair fight with one of them, you were real lucky. Because it was like almost any time you got into a one, boom, the other would be there. And because they were brothers, and yes, I am a brother's keeper, they didn't look at it as banking. They looked at it as, we're going to win by any means necessary. And I get that. With all that being said, you know I done seen it. You know I done lived it. So, let's relive it. So upon getting to the jail, like a lot of guys, you want to get outside. Most jails don't have rec yards. They have a rec area, which is usually, most of the places I've been, it's enclosed in concrete and there's some form of cage above your head or concrete above your head and a slight section of cage around the top. CFCS got the cage around the top. House of Corrections, you could actually go outside. But our jail wasn't like that. With Riverside, it's just a big concrete box with a basketball goal, and there's cage all the way across the top. And it's way up there. You're not getting up there. That would be where I first met Jason. I hadn't met Jadon yet. I didn't even know there was a brother yet. But during that basketball game, this dude kept saying, man, if y'all wouldn't be doing all that foul, if my brother was out here and we'd be winning. Y'all can't stop both of us. Y'all trying to shut. He just kept running his mouth about how they was doubling up on him on the court. And he kept getting fouled. Hey, first of all, this is jail ball. Jail ball, prison ball. You take a lot of them. We're going to still call fouls, but a lot of that stuff's going to get thrown out the window. Catch an elbow to the eye usually turns into a fight, but dude was nice with basketball. So they kept doubling down on him, trying to stop him, block his shots, like not letting him make shots, not letting him drive, all these different things that were pissing this dude off. So I'm on the sidelines. I'm not out there to play basketball. I don't even know none of these dudes. I'm not about to get in the middle of that ball pit with these dudes I don't know, and I ain't got nobody on my side. Something pop off, and both teams end up jumping on me. Now I'm going to wait and see, get to know some people before I get in the mix, right? Don't be stupid and just run headfirst into the lion's den. Jump out there if you want to. So I'm more or less observing. After the game, there's this big glass window. And right through that window, there's an officer's desk. And on the other side of it is that pod, that pod, that pod. And guys would come out to the rec area and use sign language to communicate back and forth. So dude goes to the window and he's telling dude, get my brother. Get my brother. Like he can read his lips. So he starts signing, throwing up different signs. Dude comes back. Universal language for hold on. We got a lot of different, like we don't do all the sign language. Like we basically do the alphabet and then there's hold on, take care of him, punch him in his eye, just basic stuff. But his brother comes back. Now the thing with sign language is, most times when dudes are doing sign language, even though they're doing the sign language, they're still talking. So he's talking about some, signing through the window. Hey, what's up with you? Are you okay? What's up with the case? But rather than just doing this with his hands, he's saying it out loud. He's talking to his brother. There's also the girls' wing over there, so you got to be kind of careful where you step because these girls will come out and it's just a lot, man. It's a whole bunch of men out here. You standing over there in the corner, just, come on now. But that's when I realized that his brother was across the way. I think we were in 5D and his brother was in 5B, if I'm correct. He would go out there every day to talk to his brother. I get more ingrained in the pod. And the thing I find out about this dude is he's got a mouth on him. He's quick to start running his mouth, but I haven't seen it go nowhere yet. I just seen him get to arguing over the poker table, over tongue, over pinochle. You name it, this dude just gets to arguing with dudes. You can't even play spades with him. You whooping him, you slamming the cards. Why you gotta slam the cards like that? Like, he's gonna get in his feelings, but whenever it gets to the point where it's supposed to get physical, he kills it down. Now, look, he lets it die down. Now, man, if my brother was over here and I knew that it was always my brother, my brother, my brother. So, in a sense, he had hyped his brother up. Now, their case was making big news all around the jail just because of the seriousness of it. They had taken a dude's life in an apartment complex. Some dude, the one brother, Jay, we called him JD, so we'll stop saying Jadon. The one brother, JD, had beef with this dude in the apartment complex, sees him out there talking to a girl, comes out, old boy starts whooping on him. He goes back in the apartment, comes out with the pow, pow, gets into it with the dude. The other brother comes out, Jason comes out, they start banking the dude, and one thing leads to another. JD ends up taking the dude's life. Jason continues to kick on him and punch on him after he's already been popped laying out in the parking lot. They both go to jail. I don't know what the beef was. I heard a bunch of different stories. I heard it was over money. I heard it was over a girl. Then at one point I heard it was over a bad deal with a car. I don't know what the exact story on why they did what they did that day or what the beef was about. But what I do know is JD's the one that took him up out of here, and Jason continued to whoop on the dude when he was on the ground. So let's fast forward. We're in the jail. This is why they're locked up. These are two black dudes. And at first looks at them, you would look at them and think that they played some type of college ball. They both look just alike, except the one brother had like a half sleeve, but you could only see a little bit of it sticking out of his jumper. So when me asking people, what's up with dude that's always running his mouth, that's when I got the whole story of why he was in here, his twin across the hall. I'm thinking, brother, I don't go over to the glass and look through to see that it's his twin, but I find out it's his twin brother. Hear about the case, yada, yada, yada. Everybody's talking about it. They would go to court. He would come back and like a moron, he would talk about his case. Don't ever talk about your case to dudes in jail. There are dudes that are going to prison that will 100% cash in on a get out of jail free card on you. Don't talk to your cellmate. Don't talk to this guy, that guy, these guys. No, don't talk to anybody. You're going to look real stupid in the face one day when they come get your cellmate and say, hey, you got court. What you mean I got court this morning too. Yeah, me too. What you going to court for? I don't even know. And then he's standing over there, prosecutor, repeating, don't. But anyways, these dudes talked about their case. The one time we could hang out, if you had a family member, a friend, someone you knew in the jail, if y'all were on the same wing, 5A, B, or D, C was the whole, is church. Come Sunday, everybody goes to the gymnasium if you go to church. You could interact with dudes from other pods by simply going to church. He goes to church and talks to his brother. Brother tells him, hey, some tobacco just hit the pod. But dude ain't broken out yet. At this point, we still had dudes coming from prison. And dudes were smuggling a ton of tobacco into the jail from DOC. DOC, you could still smoke. So he tells him, we got a dude in the pod. He's breaking it out little by little, but he ain't broke it all out yet because dudes is making it hot. They smoking out in the open. It smells like straight cigarettes in the pod. Like, but I'm going to shoot you some tobacco over. Tells him he's going to give it to the guy that cleans up. Now, we all go to the same visitation room. Now, this visitation room is glass. You sit on this little bench. Your people sit on the bench. You pick up the phone. And there's plexiglass in front of you, and little cubicle sides on it, and so on, all the way down the line, right? But he tells him, I'm going to give it to the dude that cleans up. He's going to stash it there. So when you go over there Thursday, this is where to be at. You already know this is going to be bad. Now, he's told a bunch of dudes, I'm going to have tobacco for sale. Once I go to VI Thursday, I'm going to go in the cut. I'm going to grab it out the Bama. I'll bring it back. He's made promises to all these different dudes. Dudes are trying to get on the bandwagon. Look, I pay in advance, man. I need to get on. Like, he's telling dudes, first come, first serve. You sure you're going to have it? 100% I'm going to have it. You're going to leave me a chunk over there Thursday. He goes over there Thursday. There's no tobacco there. Rushes out to the rec yard the following morning, throwing up signs, letting him know, no, it wasn't there. No. Don't know. It's not there. So dude goes to the guy that cleans up. This guy cleans the visitation room. He mops, he sweeps, he does all these little things, cleans the glass, wipes off the phones, wipes off the benches from the dirty booties. He's the one that's supposed to put the tobacco over there. No, I'll put it there. Now, this dude don't have no money. He don't have nobody sending him the money. He don't got no way to buy no tobacco. He gave the dude a little bit of tobacco for stashing it there. That dude's done ran through that tobacco. So he feels like, all right, maybe the guards got it. Maybe another inmate got it. Something happened. So the brother that was supposed to send the tobacco gets wind that this dude is still smoking, way past the date he should be smoking on. Everything he gave him has been gone, but he still continues to smoke. Runs up in the cell, presses on him. He don't say nothing, denies it all. Presses on the celly, which is a smaller white dude. What's something? What's your celly? Yeah. He spills the beans. Yeah, he had a sack. He had a good-sized sack. He told on him because he didn't want that ass whooping. Now, prior to us finding out that the dude had stole the sack, prior to anybody finding out dude had stole the sack, JD told Jason, he said, look, just come to church. I'll bring it to you Sunday at church. Don't worry about it. Don't trip. Tell everybody, hold off. I got you. I'll get some more. I'll bring it to you at church. So he has to now go tell all these dudes, Jason's telling these dudes, man, look, hey, I don't know. It's not there. It's missing. I hollered at my brother. He said he put it there, but he's going to bring me some Sunday. I still got your commissary. If you want your commissary back, come get it, and I'll lock somebody else in. If not, just hold off 3 more days, and I'll give it to you Sunday. I expect the dudes to want to fight behind it. Sometimes you got to use common sense and ask yourself, is he telling the truth or is he running game? That's way too many dudes to be running game on. Nobody's going to try to run game on that many guys and not check in. Guys will run game and trick everybody, but they're going to check up off the pod. They're going to check in. They're going to go to the hole. They're going to get away from that massive ass whooping they're about to get. But this, Jason hadn't done that. He told him it wasn't there. I don't know if the guard got it, somebody else got it, and another pod came over. They found it. I don't know. But my brother's bringing it Sunday, and I'll break y'all off Sunday. Sunday never gets there. JD ends up beating up the dude that cleans up upstairs, punishes this dude, smashes him, and ends up having to go to court from the hole. If you don't know what going to the court from the hole is like, it's bad. You're in the hole. You don't get to shave. They're not bringing you no razor. They're going to come, put you in the black box, handcuffs, shackles around your ankles, and take you to court. So that Sunday rolls around, and brother ain't in church. He's done gone to the glass several times, and they done told him he got the rumbling. With the dude that sweeps the floor, took him up out of here. Yeah, he's in the hole, gone. So now he's got to tell these dudes, here, take your commissary back. Rule number 1, don't spend something. The commissary, don't eat it, don't use it, don't do anything with it until you've paid these guys, because if something should happen, and if something usually does happen, will happen, can happen, you're going to want to be able to get that money back. That commissary is a form of money. So he just tells the dude, my brother caught the dude that stole the tobacco. He beat him up. Here's y'all stuff back. Ain't nothing I can do about it. I can holler another dude across the way, try to get it. By now, dude's just like, nah, we ain't going for that. Get my stuff back. You bad business. I'm not dealing with you no more. Dudes in their feelings. They've been all week long trying to figure out how they going to light this, and they going to smoke this and smoke that. Now it's the second time around, and the brother's fighting. It's a whole drawn-out thing. But JD goes to the hole. They go to court. Now, they've already been found guilty. Now they're waiting on sentencing. They go to court. JD gets a crazy amount of time. I don't want to sit here and say he got life, because I can't exactly remember what it was, but I know it was so much time that this dude's not going to see the streets again. And I remember Jason got 20 years. So from the time you get sentenced, it can take anywhere from 90 days to, I've seen a year pass and dudes still not be sent off to DOC. JD comes out the hole and comes over to our pod. Comes straight in. He knows his brother's in there. Beard done grown out a little bit. Hey, Jason yells out for his brother. His brother comes out. Hey, what up? And they run up, they dap, they hug, and dude goes back to his cell and tells his cellmate, hey, it's an open cell up there. Go holler at the officer. Been good kicking it with you, but you gotta go. My brother's moving in. And just like that, you got Jason and JD in the cell together. Now, it didn't take long before I realized something. Jason wasn't telling no lie when he said, if my brother was over here. If my brother was over here. He had said that so many times and gashed JD up so many times that we knew for sure. No play pimping, no play pretend, no Fisher Price. That if his brother was over here, it would be a problem. That same night, they get out there and they get to playing cards, and Jason starts running his mouth, and the other dude says something because they're accustomed to just running their mouth to Jason. And JD, much more calmer than Jason, tells dude, hey, man, Jason stands up, dude stands up, then JD stands up and tells dude, man, sit down. Straight up, straight like that, sit down before you get hurt in here. The dude looks at both of them and looks at his homeboys. His homeboys is, nah, he's a little different than Jason. This one right here wants to fight. Like, you told dude, sit down if I punish you in here. I'll punish you right at this table. And you can tell when a man's telling the truth about that. You don't get all loud. Blah, blah, he ain't doing all that. Nah, real calm. Sit down if I punish you at this table. Dude goes ahead and sits down. They go in the cell, locked down. The following morning, JD comes out the cell, goes down to dude's cell, goes in there, and the fight don't last very long. You're talking maybe 10 seconds. He just wasn't willing to let go what happened at the poker table that night. I guess he didn't like the way his brother got chumped. He didn't like the way they were just arguing. So JD set the pace. He ain't been out the hole. He got out the hole yesterday. He goes down there and breaks dude off in the cell. Jason stands outside the door looking in while they fighting, making sure nobody else comes around, making sure ain't no guards doing anything. And JD punishes that dude in there. And the dude he beat up, I will say it was dude's name. I want to say dude's name was Clark. It was a black dude with a small fro. Nobody really liked. Always snatched ass. Always running his mouth. So dudes was kind of happy to see him get beat up. Fatter dude, always gambling, beating people out the money, cheating. JD punished that dude in there. So in 10 seconds, he did his thing. Now, with black dudes, it's different than white dudes. If you punch me and put a bruise on my eye, you're going to see it. Green, yellow, purple diamonds, yellow horseshoes. You're going to see the whole bruise because of my skin complexion. With black dudes, they could get a bad bruise, and a lot of times you wouldn't see it. It's just, it is what it is. If you're a black dude that's had a nasty bruise on your face, you know if you get up close, you can see the discoloration, but not like you can see on me. I'm a white sheet of paper when it comes to bruising. You're going to see all the colors, the whole spectrum. JD did his thing on that dude in them 10 seconds. Bashed in that cell, smashed him out. Guards don't say anything about it. It was common to see guys with black eyes and little cuts here and there, and it just comes with jail. It's part of the territory. This would be a reoccurring thing. But the whole time all this was taking place, every time a fight popped off, it was JD doing it. Jason would get into it with somebody, and then JD would go finish it. It was almost like he was like the pitch hitter. We get towards the end of 2005, JD gets sent off to prison. Gone, boom, shipped. Off to do this crazy amount of time. I want to say it was like 60 plus years. And this is a dude that was in his late 20s, maybe mid 20s. But just got that tall, athletic, I play basketball, should have went to college type build. JD gets sent off to Department of Corrections. Off to start his 60-some plus year bid. And you got Jason still here. JD done put hands on an ass load of people in here. He ain't been beat yet. He's a big dude. Now, I'm not always going to say big wins the fight, because it don't. The punch wins the fight. You can be 5'6" if you know how to throw a punch and you can land it before Mr. 6'6" puts his hands on you. You can knock him out cold, and that big stuff don't mean nothing. Facts. But JD goes off to prison. Now Jason's left to deal with the dudes that JD's beat up in here. His whole demeanor changed, and he went back to how he used to be prior to his brother being there. But he didn't do all that arguing and all that. He piped down once his brother left. Brother done beat dudes up in here, called dudes all types of names, and had some dudes walking around here looking like Willie Lump Lump or Sammy Sausage Head. And now Jason's left to deal with the mess. But it wouldn't be long. Right after JD left, about a week later, Jason left. Boom, they go off to prison. Now, I left, it was like 3 months after that, I left. I hit Department of Corrections. Now I get to receiving. The one brother, Jason, is there. JD's nowhere to be. Where your brother? He went to Deep Meadows. So one brother goes to one receiving, the other goes to the other receiving. He said, well, we most likely going, by now to build a rapport with him. I talked with him. Tobacco did end up coming over. So I dealt with this dude in the past, just enough to say that I had a rapport with him. We wasn't besties. We wasn't sitting, drawing and coloring books. We don't draw and coloring books, just saying. We wasn't playing tic-tac-toe. We don't do that either. We'll do Sudoku, though. But I knew this dude enough to be able to, when I got to receiving, I seen him, I was like, damn, bro, you still in receiving? Man, they talking about shutting this receiver center down, so they dragging us on getting us up out of here. And they did shut it down. The same month I got there, they closed that receiving permanently and just made it a penitentiary with no receiving unit. But he did say that when they asked where he wanted to go, he put down Greensville as his number one on his list. and so did his brother. Now, the way this happens is they ask you, where would you like to go? They give you 3 options of 3 different prisons you could go to if you had the option. I just said Greensville. I didn't fill in whatever you want. But my homeboy Tony Woods, rest in peace to Tony Woods, said, I did a lot of time at Greensville. Greensville is like one of the last real penitentiaries out here. Get your hands on anything. It's a lot of stuff going on. That's where you want to be if you can stand the violence. I'm with it. If I can make money there, I can move how I want to move, make moves. To Greensville I go. So the brother told me, said, I'll put in for Greensville, and my brother put in for Greensville. So hopefully we get to Greensville. They start loading buses up right after I get to receiving. Empty and receiving out. Now there was side A and side B. Side B gets completely cleaned out the first week. Gone. Everybody on that side is gone. And the last few guys they got, they move over to side A. The following week, they start getting us all gone. I was in the last group of guys to leave from that receiving. I end up at Greensville. I do my little stint down in 9 building, which is a transition building. I get jumped when I get there by the Bloods on the basketball court. Fast forward, I get down to 7 building. JD's down there. What happened to your brother, man? I was in receiver with your brother. He's here. What you mean he's here? He's across the yard in S2. But worse, what you going to S2? No, I'm getting him over here. I don't want to be in S2. I want to get him over here. This is where it's happening. It's like that. 7 building is like that. Everything you could think of is in this building. Why would I want to leave him? I'm getting my brother over here. Now, the way this works is they got different trades. S1's got their trades, S2's got their trades, and S3's got their trades. S1's got 3 buildings, S2's got 3 different buildings, and S3's got 3 different buildings. There's 9 buildings on this compound, a lot of men. And we're just separated by fences on the rec yard and a good distance in between the fences before you get to the next part of the compound. So Jason puts in for this class over, I think it was the electrical class or the plumbing class, so that if he goes there, they're not bringing you all the way across the compound and all the way back. They're going to move you over there because it limits you being able to bring contraband from one point to another point, and you're in your section of the compound where that class is taught. Jason shows up over there. Now, at first, he's over in 8 building. I see JD out on the boulevard and Jason out on the boulevard, and they're talking to the sergeant. Man, come on, move him. He's my brother. Like, a lot of dudes will say they're brothers, they're cousins, they're uncles, they're this, they're that, and they're not. They say it because they're strength in numbers. Facts. With Philly, I used to tell people he was my brother. He told people he was my brother. We knew each other from the streets. We pretty much were brothers. We just didn't share the same blood, but we used the same tactic too. Sure enough, they moved Jason over there with JD, and they put him in the same cell. And at the time, I was in cell 24, right up above the control booth. I hated that cell. If anybody came by my cell, the officer smacking on the glass, hey, keep it moving, get off the top tier, get away. Can't be in his cell. I'll write you up. That's a 229 unauthorized area. So I wanted to move. I ended up getting sent upstairs to 300 pod. I was in cell 330. When I was in the 300 pod, I ended up catching a drug case. I ended up having to do almost a year in the hole. I come out, they put me in 7 building cell 120, where I would sit and be for many, many years. I get jammed up, go to the hole, and I'd come back to 120. But I come in, these 2 dudes are in here, and they've made a name for themselves in that year I've been gone. A good name for themselves. These dudes got their hands in a little bit of everything. They go out to the yard, bring stuff back from this building to that building. But something's changed. Something I didn't foresee. I'm not in there long, and store day comes around, and JD and Jason got a store box, and these dudes are paying, and you got this one dude that's playing funny with the money. He's walking around here, paid everybody, but he ain't went over there. And I see Jason come out the cell, go down, get to talking to the dude. They get to arguing like Jason likes to argue, and JD comes out and stands by the door, and Jason goes up in there and punishes dude. This will be the very first time I seen Jason put hands on somebody. And to be honest, he was nicer with his hands than JD was. It just took a little more to push him there. JD would go in there and beat you up. Jason would go in there and annihilate you. So Jason goes in there, you can hear him. It sounds like he touched every inch of that cell with that dude he got to rumble with behind that commissary. It really sounded like he was slamming him off the ceiling, back on the floor, off the wall, the door. Like, meanwhile, you got JD standing at the door just watching. Make sure nobody comes over there and jumps on his brother. Nobody interferes. Nobody, hey, what you looking at, man? Mind your business. You're drawing right now. Stop looking over here. Jason smashes dude. Comes out, and I see dude later that evening. He's going to go to chow. Dude's telling him, you can't go to chow, homeboy. You can get us a lockdown. Look at your face. Like, you look like Elephant Man. Your face has got the same consistency as a Cheeto. Like, you're not supposed to have knots there, bro. You look bad. So dudes come together like we would and give him little stuff. Stay in the cell. Here's some commissary. Here, take that. Not to mention, Jason had taken the commissary out of the cell. He didn't just take what he owed. He took the whole bag. You want to play stupid? Take the rest of this commissary. The connection these 2 dudes had was crazy. Watching them play basketball outside in the rec yard, you knew This is something they had practiced many, many times. I don't know if they did it at the daddy's house, at a rec center, at the school, but Jason would hoop, hoop, alley oop, and JD would dunk it. JD would bounce the ball, alley oop, dunk it. They were good at what they did. He wasn't lying about if my brother was out here, my brother was out here. But everybody knew when it came to these two that if anything happened, you was going to get the business. They was going to put hands on you. And if you could beat one, the other one hadn't seen it thus far. But if you got to whooping one of them in that cell, and the other one was always standing at the door, he wasn't going to go in there without his brother standing at the door. But if you got the best of one, the other was going to come in and they let it be known. You're not going to win by no means necessary. You ain't about to do nothing to my brother. As I have said, I am my brother's keeper. So by now, the whole name thing, the Jason and Jadon, JD, all that's kind of faded out, and they just call them twin. Like my homeboy Jacob Aquino and his brother, they called them twin, and they weren't even twins. They just looked a lot alike, but then they take on the name twin. I bet a whole bunch of dudes named twin that didn't have a twin or even have a brother. But it made sense for them to call them twin or twins or the nicknames they had. Now, Jason has got his stuff back in court. Jason's argument for his appeal was he didn't know that the dude had been popped when he was banking him. When he was jumping him out in that parking lot, he heard the pow, but he didn't know that the dude was hit. He didn't know that this was a fatal shot. He didn't know the dude was in that type of condition. He just thought it was a fight, and the most he should have been charged with was the participating in the fight. So his appeal goes through. He's now going back to court, having his case re-seen. JD's done. JD's got 60-some plus years. What happens next? I don't think I expected, but they're sending Jason back to court. So now he's got to get in a transport vehicle, leave the city of Emporia, and go all the way back to his home city, hours away from the prison. Court rolls around, time for him to start fighting his case on appeal, and he leaves. Jason's gone. Packed all his property up. We fast forward 2-3 days. JD's got a new cellmate. Jason's going off to the county that he got convicted in, going back to court, trying to get this homicide overturned. Middle of the morning, we just come back from chow. Dudes are getting ready to go to rack, and they come in blowing the whistle. And when they come in deep. This is so many guards that usually when you see that many guards, there's a body, something bad has happened. But they come in, everybody locked down, everybody locked down, everybody locked down. We go into our cells. Now we're curious, we're nosy, window shopping. We got to see what's going on. We all go to the door. We're trying to share the slot. Looking at the door, what's going on? They down there at JD's cell. They got JD out and they got him in handcuffs. Now he's been laid low the last few days. For the most part, he ain't really bouncing around here like he usually does. He ain't really going out playing basketball. He's kind of just playing the cell, playing the part. Look down there, they got him in handcuffs. They are packing all his stuff up. His cellmate is in handcuffs, and they're tearing the cell apart. And just like that, they take him up out of there. They come in at night, and since they've already got us in our cells, they use that as a reason to shake the pod down, and they come cell to cell and do a quick shakedown. Nothing too bad, nothing too serious. They find a little stuff here. Take your stingers, your extra sheets, your graphic flicks of females, and boom, they're out of there. The following morning, we've all been yelling down there all night long to a cellmate. What's going on? What happened? Why you get everybody shook down? What happened? Man, it's crazy. What's crazy? Why they lock JD up? You mean why they locked Jason up? What? Nah, that wasn't JD. Nah, JD went to court. Tried to escape from transport on the way back. It was Jason in the cell. Wow. He really was his brother's keeper. JD ended up leaving and going to court, taking his brother's ID. And I don't know, I do not know the facts on how he tried to, I don't know if he tried to escape at the courthouse. I don't know if he's seen a brief window of trying to get out the back of the paddy wagon. I don't know the exact details. But when Jason got his appeal in and was supposed to start going back to court and refighting his case, JD went. JD took Jason's ID, his prison ID, knows all the questions answered. What's your mama's name? What's your daddy's name? What's your date of birth? All these questions they ask you when you leave out the prison and you come into jail. And at some point or another, he tried to run. He tried to break free from the guards, and they got him. And upon further investigation, they come across that tattoo. And that tattoo would be what hung him. When you come into prison, they photograph all your tattoos. Any distinguishing marks, birthmarks, tattoos, scars. Like I told y'all in the beginning of the story, JD had this half sleeve that made it very clear that he wasn't his brother. Now in jail, we wore jumpsuits, so it's hard to hide it. But in prison, we wear these long sleeve, light blue button-ups where you can hide anything that's not on your hands, not on your throat, not on your face, not on your head. JD slid out to court. That was Jason in the cell the entire time. Which also kind of explains why he was laying low, because Jason wasn't the aggressor type. JD was. But whatever happened that day on transport, they caught him. He didn't get away. But I'll tell you this. Because they swapped IDs, both of them ended up getting charged with attempted escape. Because JD took Jason's place, and Jason gave JD that ID that enabled him to get outside the prison walls on that transport vehicle into that other jail all the way across the state. Yeah. He would go on to lose his appeal, and the sentence he was given stayed in place. Here's what I want you to get from today's story. When you've made mistakes in life and you're paying for them, pay for them. A lot of guys get locked up and they think that they're slicker than the system. You are in here for committing crimes. You weren't very good at it because you got caught, or they had a lot of evidence. Whatever the case is, you got caught. Now you're going to continue to try to commit crimes and think that you aren't going to get caught. What do they say the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. If you do the same thing over and over and over and you're expecting different results, you're lying to yourself. Don't be out here committing crimes. They didn't have to take it to the point to where old boy got popped in that parking lot. I'm not going to say Jason knew that was coming or Jason played a part in that, but he played a part in that. If I go in and I rob a bank and you sit in the car, you're going down. Watch the company you keep, even if it is your brother. Sometimes in life, we have to cut people off. It's just the way it is. Unless you're willing to take that trip and fall for the next man, and y'all really gonna ride like that, and you are your brother's keeper to the point that you'll sacrifice your life behind bars, think before you act, man. Jason could have stopped that dude that day. Ho, 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 no. We gotta take it there. Like, it's 2-on-1. What's the point? But he didn't. And he does say that he didn't. I never heard him say that he saw him, or knew that he was. I don't know if that was part of his defense, his case, or if that's just the truth. But whatever the case is, he put himself in the middle of that situation. And it ended bad. And then once again, he caught himself trying to save JD, thinking JD could escape and get out of doing the 60-some years and just be on the run. Like they wouldn't eventually come back. Maybe he knew they would. Once he escapes, they're going to come get me. He knew they were going to come get him. Maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they won't. Hold on, bro. You just signed on for 60-some years. So, yeah, you're going to have to let these people know that's not who you really are. Or you're going to have to sit it down. And I think his plan was for his brother to get free. And for him to come forward and say, look, man, y'all took the wrong brother to court. No, I ain't got 60-some years. So, yeah, no, I'm supposed to be the one in court. I'm going to get this overturned to get 10 years. But he didn't get it overturned. Think before you act, people. You can love somebody, be the best of friends, ride or die for them. But at the end of the day, is it really worth giving up your entire life? I've met men, a lot of different men, that were told by the judge, you're going into a cell, you're going to live around other men, and you will eventually be found in that cell, no longer alive from old age or whatever it may be. And on that day and that day only will you be released from Department of Corrections. Those are terrible, terrible words to hear. As y'all know, it is Tuesday. Did a little fishing this morning. Took my son to school. Gonna do some laundry, play a little basketball, maybe clean the trucks, and then go pick my son up. I hope you all are enjoying your life. Sorry for the hiatus. Sorry for the wait. Sorry for the wait too. I'm enjoying my life, man. Living my best life. Doing a lot of things that I haven't been able to do. I suggest you do the same when you can. With all that being said, these jails, these penitentiaries, these courts, these twins, they're all just crazier worlds inside of an already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. Just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams, Let's Live Life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Now y'all know how we do. Salute.